I don't really like dogs. Um, I think that they're great, but just not in my home. My husband grew up with dogs, and I didn't, and I really liked that lifestyle, and he really enjoyed his. So the summer of 2012, when we got married, and he was emailing me pictures every single day about dogs and which one he liked, and he dropped hints when we were out, sort of got annoyed and obliged him when he wanted to go to the ASPCA for the afternoon to see if we could find one for our very own. In keeping and wanting to keep my husband happy, I took this trip to the ASPCA, and it was pretty uneventful. We didn't see anything that we liked. We wanted more of a puppy. They had bigger dogs there. And so I thought sneakily that I had gotten off the hook. Little did I know, a few weeks later, he would call me from the parking lot of a PetSmart while he was buying fish food as he ran into a young woman who had two puppies in her cart. She had already had a litter of puppies that she had given away, and she had two left. One she was going to keep for herself, and the other one she was going to give away. He could have the puppy, according to her, if he wanted her. He chose the cutest Oreo cookie puppy you would ever see. Kupkake is what we named her. She was black and white patches all over. She looked sort of like a Dalmatian, but bigger. She had one big blue eye and one big brown eye, and she was really very cute. The only thing about Kupkake was she wasn't trained at all. For a non-dog person, this could be very annoying, as I had not had any intention on training a dog. Sleep training, potty training, manners training, all the training you could think of. Not only was she not trained, she was very mischievous. She loved to run. And by run, I mean run away. I would argue with my husband every day about who was going to walk the dog because he worked late, and that means I was there with the dog having to deal with her running away, as she thought it was the funniest game she could come up with during our walks. Leisure walks, jogging, it doesn't matter. She liked to dart away as you were walking with her. One day, about a year into having Kupkake and her running away, my husband and I went to Philadelphia for the weekend, and we asked my parents to dog sit. They happily did this, as they did it all the time for us. And on our way home from Philadelphia, we got a phone call from my father who said, and I quote, "You need to come pick up your dog because she's going to get arrested." I was so confused. I didn't understand how a dog could get arrested when he told me the story about how she ran away and caused all this chaos on the south side of Syracuse. He had let her out for her morning duties, as he normally does, for 3 minutes. He came back downstairs and she was gone. Not unusual, she likes to hide. He looked in all the usual spots and she wasn't there. All of a sudden, he said he heard screeching, like the sound of cars screeching, across the street. He walked around the corner to find Kupkake darting in and out of the street. She was chasing people as they were walking to the bus. She was chasing kids as they were walking into the local school. She had the crossing guard trying to shoo her away. She was trying to nip at people on the bus stop. I mean, she was causing chaos. A neighbor had called the police, and so there were about 3 police cars all surrounded the area trying to get Kupkake to come to them. One of the police officers actually had a dog treat, and she stopped for a second, calculated her move. She went and got the dog treat, and then she ran off again. This was going on for about 2.5, 3 hours. When they finally found Kupkake, she was on my parents' porch, seemingly tired from her romp in the streets in the morning, and she was done. She was ready for some water. After the police and the crossing guard and all the people were calmed down, my father took her in the house and put her in her crate. And that's when he called us and said, "You need to come get your dog." Shortly after this crazy incident, we found out we were having our first child. And I had convinced my husband that it might be better if we give Kupkake to a home where they can handle a dog that likes to run away and a new baby. I told him I was not up for that challenge, and he begrudgingly did that. It took him the whole 9 months of pregnancy. I believe he did not give her away until the week before my due date, but he did. She's now in a home where the family is full of runners, and they have a really great relationship with their local police. In case anything happens, the police know what's going on. The moral of the story: don't get dogs in parking lots of PetSmarts because you don't know their history.